Two teams playing styles that are not that dissimilar, but one technical team is struggling to even win matches, but the other one is winning. So in this video, we're going to look at both Kaizer Chiefs' style of play, and we're also going to look at Orlando Pirates and see what it is that Pirates do that Kaizer Chiefs don't. So let's start by looking at the shape of Kaizer Chiefs when they're building up. You have this back three of, well, in this case, Zetakunika, Inacio Miguel, and Aiden McCarthy. In most cases, this position is taken by Bradley Cross, but for this game, he was rested. And then if you look further, you will see that they then have a staggered midfield of Mtetwa and Cele. And if you look here, you see that Cele looks to be the deeper of the two because he's the one who collects the ball. And then up front, you have all those five. Now here you have Duba, the left winger, holding the width on the left. You have Umtu Shabalala inverting to just be close enough to the striker. It doesn't matter who the striker is, but that's the position that he holds. And then you'll have Igodaro, Silva, Mayo being up there. And then on the other side, you have Mfundo Vilagazi up there in a position whereby he's just trying to go deeper to link up. Even if the ball is on the right, you'll see Mtutuzi Shabalala being the one who linking up, which means in that case, you'll see Mfundo Vilagazi in these positions. And since Ufrosla is the right wing back, he's the one who goes up and down because, as we've established earlier on, the other one who looks like a left back, who's actually not a left back but a left center back, Umakate, will stay here at the back. So how does this help Chiefs in doing anything? Well, you will see that the issue that they have, although you're watching them here and they're in a position whereby they have built from the back, but now when they get into these areas, they just seem to panic. Like if you look here, there is Igodaro, who is the one who's running into the box. But at the same time, there is Ucele, who's right here, who is a simple pass, because if the ball is played to Ucele get the ball, Frosler makes that run, right? Frosler still makes that run. The ball can still be played to Frosler, or Ucele, when he turns now, he can look for other options whereby he can pass the ball here. In this case, then he can shoot. But no, the thing that Chiefs tend to do in these areas, they panic and they rush the ball. But not only that, because even if it's not a cross, it's a ground pass, but look at how isolated he is, because now you have Mfundo Vilagazi, the team is attacking on the right, he's staying wide, but on that wide side, you also have Nangumuntu. You have Frosler, who's also in that same sort of space, who's supposed to be combining with Mfundo Vilagazi. So if Mfundo Vilagazi is not doing anything wrong and the Frosler is not doing anything wrong, maybe perhaps we should think about having him, right? Because we said we're on the right, moving into these areas to kind of support. Or alternatively, you can also think about Cele pushing up into these areas so that it can support. Because now, what ends up happening is Frosler now plays this long ball, which is a true ball, but it's harder because look at how many defenders are around him. For starters, there's the one who's marking him. So even if he was to turn, this man is covered. And there's this one who's looking to intercept that pass. So why are you forcing passes that are not easy to make, right? And then we move on to another situation whereby Kaizer Chiefs find themselves in these situations fine. They've played the ball from the back, they've penetrated, and they are now in the final third. But when they get into this area, here, Duduzi Shabalala could take a shot. In fact, let me roll the video for you. He gets the ball in this area. He could shoot right there. But instead, what does he do? He still tries to fix the ball before he shoots. There was one that was frustrating more than all of them, where it was Sereno. He dribbles the first one, he dribbles the second one. And then instead of taking a shot, he's still just dribbling everyone. And then there's missing chances because you see the ball here is about to be crossed, and Mfundo Vilagazi has two options. He could play the ball to Frosler, or he could finish better than what he ends up doing here. And that's not looking good. Once again, you go through this thing, you see Chiefs getting these chances after chances. Frosler could take a shot. He decides that he's going to pass the ball back, And then here Mduduzi should be scoring, but it doesn't. And then you have another situation once again. Chiefs are playing from the back. They've played from the back. It was a throw in. They combine nicely. Igotaro gets the ball. And Frosla is free on the other side. Frosla has gotten the ball, and then the shot is not on target. And then you have, again, system well set up. Lilepo hugging the touchline as he always does. He stays there. He attracts a defender who's now drawn out and has created that huge red space in behind. Now, because that space has been created, that means with Lilepo being there and the defender being tied at him, all it takes is for Chiefs to spot that pass. And now look at how big the space that Lilepo is running into. But the problem is the accuracy is just not there. Now let's go to Orlando Pirates and see how and why this works. If you're enjoying the video, by the way, please do make sure to subscribe to the channel. So let's look here. Pirates are not building with the 3. Contrast that with Kaizer Chiefs. They're building with the 3. But Pirates are building with a 2. Technically, it's a 3 because the keeper is involved in the build-up. I think that's one thing that Kaizer Chiefs are also not doing that great because of the fans. Because when Peterson tries to join in and build up with the defenders, boos go around the stadium. But that's a story for another day. So this is Pirates building from the back with a 2, including the keeper, which makes it a 3. And again, just like Chiefs, they also have the double pivot, but they are staggered. So that means one is slightly back and the one is ahead of the other one. And then if you look ahead, look at that huge gap in midfield. That is left there on purpose. It's not because Pirates are cowards, they don't want to play in midfield. No. That space, we're going to look at how they utilize that space later on in the video. And then you look at the 6 men up front. You'll have your wing back, maybe sometimes swapping with the left winger. You'll have the striker. You'll have the 10. You'll have the right winger. You'll then have the right wing back. So all of them are just pushing the team and forcing the team to sit in their side. And as a result, you will see that what they're actually doing with this, look at this. Until you see, there's no one in the middle, right? But here, there's a player who's wide. There's a player who's also leaning wide. There's another player who's leaning wide. What is that? Wait, let's see. Did you do a trick, a scoreline? Because this is 1, this is 2, this is 3. Ben's a triangle on this side. This shape on the other side is not perfect. But basically, they are trying to form these triangles on the white space. Why are they forming triangles wide? Because they want to combine wide and then force teams to be drawn out, and then they can play the ball back into the box. Okay, let's continue. So once again, you see here that whole triangle that is happening. You have a player who is moving away to draw his defender. His defender follows him, which means now there's going to be space that's created on the white space. And now they're going to exploit that white space by a pass. In this clip, it doesn't happen. But in this one, it does. Because if you look here, you will see that now what's happening is a player is dropping. He's been followed. And then the space in behind is now being created. Now Pirates can combine or play across from that position. Why is this important? Because the defenders are defending facing their own box, their own goal, which means mistakes can happen and defending won't be convenient at all. But another thing that's very important to note here is the fact that right now what Pirates have mastered to do under Uwadu is the fact that how many players of Orlando Pirates do you see right now being around the box, right? How many players do you see, like here, right? You have 1, you have 2, you have 3, you have 4, you have 5 running into the box at that moment, which means if there is a rebound, hint, hint, nudge, nudge, it's a spoiler, something could happen for them. And you watch this again, you see that this is Pirates building up to their goal. So, 1, you have Maswanganyi not collecting the ball centrally. He moves wide. Now you have a defender who's very confused because Maswanganyi, who's right here, has moved wide. And then Apolis, who's supposed to be a winger, is now central. They've rotated positions. Now, the defender, the midfielder, is now confused. Who do I mark? because technically I'm supposed to mark Tito because he's my person, he's playing as a 10. But now the person who's currently in the 10 position is a police. So now he's caught and he does not know what to do. And as a result now, he makes his final decision. You know what? I'm going to leave a police and I'm going to deal with Tito. The problem is, a police is now free and is running. And this guy, the second midfielder of Polokwane City, his concern is if Nematejela gets the ball, Nematejela is right here. If Nematejela gets the ball, there's going to be trouble. So he doesn't track a police either. He stays with Nematejela. As a result now, the other problem that Polokwane City are now having is the fact that up there, the defender is staying tight with Sibelebele, right? But you are staying tight with Sibelebele, man marking him and leaving space in behind. What's going to happen now, because what you don't see out of frame is that Mahopa is also pushing the defenders of Polokwane City, pinning them back basically. So that means the space that is here in behind, Tito knows the space is there, he plays the ball there. And as I said, you see that Umahopa is keeping the defenders here, so they can't really move up here, because if they did, then they leave Mahopa alone. So they have to stay in that area. And when Tito plays the ball into that space that they're exploiting, what happens? The ball is played back to a police who's now not marked. And when a police is not marked, remember, we talked about Pirates having numbers in the box. Now the ball is played, the keeper doesn't save the ball, and Remy is there to pounce. And that's it. Pirates score their goal. But they did not even learn here, because now we're going to look at how they exploit that space. You see, this is Nematejela making a forward run. And in him making a forward run, he's purposely creating that space again in midfield. And in him creating that space, a police now sees that now there's space, I can go into that space and try to play the ball. And as it drops, now you see that there is that gap now, because when he moves, I want you to watch his movement. He doesn't drop backwards, but his run is, it goes up, just like what Tito did for that goal, because he made his run outwards and then he goes to collect the ball, so that there's that space again in midfield. And when they're here, that's when they can combine and get the ball and then take shots from here. And this is how Pirates, if they don't score by those combinations, they'll just shoot from afar, because they would have created that space by sucking you out and like dragging you wide. So the smart thing for teams to do is to just defend the width of the box, but they don't do that. And we're not going to talk about that now, because that's not the point. So if there's an ultimate thing to compare Chiefs and Pirates right now, one, Chiefs are getting chances, they're just not converting them. But two, decision making of Kaizer Chiefs around the box, they panic. But if you see Pirates, they are in a situation whereby they are very decisive in doing what needs to be done around the box. But what do you think about these two systems, and how do you think they can be exploited? Because unfortunately, I didn't get to watch Pirates against the team from DRC. So it would have been interesting to see how they exploited Pirates. But we'll watch this weekend and see how they perform against bigger teams. So, what did you think of these two games and these two teams? Do let me know down in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel, like and share with your friends. Danko.